Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How's everything going? Everything's going fine over here so far. With that being said, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. We're going to jump right in, okay? On these narcissists. Narcissists know when you come from an abusive family. I look back at all my childhood friends and I could still remember the predatory stare in their eyes when I would be around them. This is before I knew about narcissism, ladies and gentlemen. And they would do that predatory stare because they felt like they had control. They only had control because I didn't know who they were or what they were. As if to say they had control. And me not knowing, I was friends with them anyway. Right, ladies and gentlemen. So when you look back at your old childhood friends, you say, well, damn, I used to be around this person, that person, and now your life is peaceful. But when you look back, you like, damn, you think about the altercations and arguments and stuff that you had with past friends. But think about those times that you were around them and maybe you said something that stuck a narcissistic injury that made them feel like, wait a minute, are you trying to have me not control you? Are you trying to lose control over me having control over you? And that stare is just so deafening. When you see that narcissistic stare, you know that there is nothing inside of them that is good. There's nothing that narcissistic stare shows you that they have no empathy. That narcissistic stare basically indicates that there's emptiness in the inside and they're fueled by darkness. That's why they can stare so long without blinking. They just stare at you. It's just. And the stare is so piercing. It literally is something that you have to turn away from. Because if you keep staring at them when they stare at you, it sends nothing but pure shock, pure horror down your. It's all in you feel it all down in your spirit. Your adrenaline get to racing and your heart skip a beat just for those seconds that they're staring at you. Then they go back to talking normal and everything. And this is what they want you to accept. Oh, we're just normal people that you're dealing with, not knowing that there's a demon behind the mask. Think about how the relationship ended with your narcissistic friends. A big clash, and now you haven't talked to them, you haven't seen them in years. But there's a big clash. I remember there was one situation with a narcissistic friend, and I didn't realize I was doing it. All I was doing was standing my ground on something. I forgot what the specific topic was. I was standing my ground on something. And they blew up this big argument. What it was I had grew up a little bit. They were so used to when I was younger, I would just go with the flow. Wherever they went, I would go. And, I knew, of course, I wasn't drinking then. So if we went out to certain places, I'd say no to alcohol. But it was one of those things where they, for the longest, thought that they had control. And the only reason they felt like that is because I didn't know what they were. Well, even then, when I hung around them, it was a few years after that, I had grew up. I still didn't know what narcissist was, but it was just more boundaries were set. I had done, experienced what it was like to live in that street life. I wasn't raised in the streets, but I had experienced it. And I'll never forget, we got into an altercation about something, and I was standing my ground on it, standing my ground. And ladies and gentlemen, it ultimately ended in me and that person having a physical altercation. We got into a fight. It was crazy. I'll never forget standing in the middle of the night. I had called the police. I was crying because I was so upset and how I care so much about this person. And even the police that arrived to the scene, which this person was arrested, they told me, they said, they gave me a ride home. And I never, because the narcissistic person was supposed to, but we got into an altercation. So they kind of left me like in the middle of nowhere. And well, I knew where I was at, but it was just a long way from home, walking. And I'll never forget the officer that picked me up in the car was giving me a ride home. They were intrigued by the gay life. They were curious about the gay, just asking specific questions. You know how that thing goes. And then they came out their mouth and said, Yeah, I think you got to pick a better set of friends. You need to pick a better set of friends. That person's jealous of you. And even then, I was young and it seeped in my mind, but I still really didn't understand the faucets of what they were talking about. I did not. I was like, okay, like, because I'm thinking like, this is my friend, like this. And ladies and gentlemen, now that I'm, super powered up and understand it on all different levels, I'm able to say, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize what I was around. And throughout the years, this person would reach back out, but it's a wrap. I don't want to be friends with you. It's a wrap. Baby, that's in the past. I have another video for you. And we're gonna jump right into that one. I'm gonna leave you guys with just this, and we're gonna jump right into that one. So I'll see you in the next video, all right? Bye-bye.